Hello YouTube and the Indian motorcycle community. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon Davidson and I'm the owner of Davidson Audio, where we specialize solely in the audio solutions for you. And if you've been following along this episode so far, then you know we're on part 4 of a 4-part series to install a complete 4-speaker audio package on a 2022 Indian Challenger. So in the last video, we went ahead and buttoned up all the audio equipment needed for this audio package in the fairing. So now it's time to go ahead and get this bike reassembled so that way this customer can get back out on the road, enjoy not only his bike, but this amazing 4-speaker audio package. Now we're at the point where we can put the fairing back on. We're gonna do a test fit before we get everything buttoned up. So what I'd like to do is just make sure everything's zip tied on down. We've got a lot of clearance, you know, everything's up out of the way. You didn't forget any bolts. Fairing shroud is down and over. The amplifiers, wire connectors are up out of the way. So now let's grab the fairing and attempt to put it on. All right, so real quick, in the fairing, there's just 2 areas I like to address. One is these little guide tabs here. Because we heated up the speaker enclosure, it's now gonna be in this way. So we just take these off. You can use little snippers. And then right here on the back of the headlight adjuster, I just like to grind down these 2 outer tabs, just like make it flat on this side. Just give us a little bit more clearance for the amplifier, so if you wanna adjust this. But I mean, this one's already fully adjusted out, so we should be good. So we're gonna grind these 2 and then we're gonna take these 2 off real quick. So snip this off. So now that those are cut down, I don't sand this with a sander just because I don't want the plastic to heat up too much and transfer over to the paint. So now we're gonna focus on these 2 outer corners with the sander real quick. Now that that's trimmed out, I take a razor knife and just run it around the edges. Now, pretty much the last step is getting the fairing on. And like I said before, let's see if I can hold this right. This part has these little tabs on the outside part. So what I like to do is get those put on first. Because then that holds the fairing. And now we can make the 3 electrical connections at the bottom. Now what I like to do is just make sure we get it start these 2 screws very loosely started. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go do the rest of them inside. Now to get the remainder of the screws on the inside here. All right, now it's time to get the fuel tank back on. And as if you remember, I like to leave the hardware on here. So now we got to take it off. So this is the only hardware in the rear that holds the fuel tank on. Remember, we have a couple connections to make once it's on. We have the fuel overflow line right here. We have the fuel line itself, which is going to go right here to the fuel injector line. And then on the I'm pretty sure 21 and newer, maybe it's 22. This is the power for the fuel pump and the fuel sending unit. And then you'll notice that right on each side here, there's these rubber bushing grommet deals. That's for the front of the fuel tank. There's 2 like clamshells that go on there. So now let's go ahead and grab the fuel tank. We'll slide it up in here make this wiring connection, get it bolted in, and address the fuel line. So let's go grab it. The front and the back, kind of just get it started on here, then grab it from each side and just like that, we're all lined up. So let's get these wires up in here. There is a channel right here for them. So we're just gonna press it down in there, make the first wiring connection. There we go. Get the cover on this. So do you remember from the disassembly, it's just that a little tight. And if you don't remember these bushings, how it goes is you've got this washer with a spacer, so you're going to put one tank bushing there, then this one goes in there and it creates like a little pocket, and then this goes from the outside and keeps it in there. So let's go ahead and put the first one in. What I like to do is put the inside pieces in first. Then the last but not least is the fuel line, which is right here. Just simply push it to hear an audible click, just like that. The seat and the side covers, and then we can button it up. Now it's time to get the seat back installed. So it's just a simple, okay, it is a 6mm. These are 6mm, not 5. So I'm gonna go grab that real quick. These two pockets go into these two tabs, and then you got to catch this back on the opening. So there we go, just like that. And then you find the two holes, then the two side covers. Now let's get his sissy bar back on. And then as I said before, first thing I like to do is open up the saddlebag lids because I don't want to contact them with the sissy bars or tour packs. All right, now to get the battery hold down bracket modified to clear all the wires that we put in there so we can get the front closed up. So this is the one off my personal bike. I've already modified it. So what I did is I just took off this tab right here because this is where the ground is in the positive, and we're running 3 grounds off of here, you know, 2 4-gauge coming off this way now. So I wanted to give it a little bit more clearance. So we're going to do it a little differently on this one. We are going to take it, you know, straight down, clean this off. But then over here, I'm going to take this and cut it right in half and take it off halfway. Just give us a little bit more clearance for the 4-gauge power in there, even though we have it tucked up under. So we're going to take the miniature oscillating tool and the die grinder and go ahead and get this cut. And just like that, we got rid of those edges. Get this. All right, now time to go over to the bike and get this installed. Now that we're back at the battery, now is a good time to, before we install this, just double check your terminals, make sure they are nice and tight. Don't go, you know, super He-Man and like over torque them. Just make sure they're good and tight, because I have stripped these out before and it is no fun. So now we're gonna go and install this back in here. And as I said before, these little tabs go into this little slot right here. You simply just push in and just like that. So it will push on it just a little bit, but I promise it's more than enough for everything to go on the way it's intended to. And one note, you might have just let me do it, but when you go to put all this in here, especially this power wire, seeing that we double looped it back this way, I zip tied it up far enough away to where I can get my finger around this bolt. So the bolt's close to it, but it's not touching it. So we're good there. Now what we're gonna do is gonna go ahead and put the radiator guard on, then this cover back on. All right, so this customer has a aftermarket radiator guard. So this is just gonna be a little bit slightly different than your typical one, but they all go on the same exact way. So, but what's weird is they have washers that go back up behind in between the guard and the bolt. So let's see if we can. Interesting design. I don't know who makes this, so I'll find out in the customer to try to put it in the comment or the description. It's like they fit this perfect to go over that. Cover on this, simply there's 3 tabs on the bottom. You go down and it goes right up against it. And just like that, just tighten these up. And just like that, we have completed the installation process for this 4-speaker audio package on this 2022 Indian Challenger. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video series that we did on this. My whole goal and purpose of these videos was to give you all the insight on what it takes to get one of these audio packages installed, along with the products that we offer for these bikes. So please, if you enjoyed this video series, go down and subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you get notified, and give us a like or a dislike. But please do me the courtesy of letting me know why you liked the video or why you disliked it, so that way I can continue to work on this channel and grow it, so that way it helps you all. So thank you again so much from not only myself, but my business. Hope you all enjoy your bikes and continue riding on.